Welcome to Book Talk. I'm Winston. I like to read good books, and you should too. Today we are talking about The Kingdom of Heaven by Evelyn M. Lewis. Now, this is a really thoughtful exploration of opposing ideologies and the contrast of a dystopian society versus a frontier society. The situations of the dystopian society are fairly clear references to social media culture and far left politics. The descriptions of the rural society are idealized depictions of historical frontier communities. The whole setting feels really familiar. The characters are personable, relatable, and they appeal really strongly to fans of coming-of-age stories for young women, which is what this is. I was really impressed with the emphasis on the crime of detraction. There are definite Orwellian overtones here, missing only the depiction of thought crime as the worst of all possible evils. The indoctrination of the populace against the crime of detraction places the main character in a continual moral quandary. Everything that she knows to be right and just requires her to conform to the desires of the state and to place the welfare of the community and of others in general far above herself. On the surface, to most of the English-speaking world, this goes really strong, at least as it's depicted, it goes really strongly against the grain of individualism, self-motivation, and personal achievement. But it is exactly this philosophy that has guided collectivist cultures throughout the history of the world. It's no coincidence that the cover art is reminiscent of the Moscow skyline. Don't think I'm the only one who, I don't think I'm alone in that opinion. Detraction is the crime of placing yourself in a superior position to anyone or to anything else. It's the ultimate relativistic philosophy. It is, of course, those in authority who get to decide exactly what constitutes detraction. It may be speaking out against public policy. It may be failing to do your assigned job adequately. It may be the desire to improve yourself. Or it may simply be the comparison of yourself to someone else, even or especially if that comparison is not favorable. Now, from a Christian point of view, we are called to place self-care and personal development on an equal footing with the care and education we give to others. Matthew 7:12 is perhaps the most famous expression of the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I think it is more clearly stated in the book of Mark, chapter 12, where Jesus says, the most important commandment is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. Now, I find most dystopian fiction lacks solid philosophical grounding. I found that solid grounding in the Kingdom of Heaven, and it was a welcome discovery. Technically, it's very well done. It's a good book. It's easy to read. It's clearly expressed. Most of the word count is given to the main character, to getting to know her. The characters are mostly idealized or archetypal, but they're comfortable to read about and they're sympathetic to contemplate. Very little time is really spent describing the setting or the dynamics of the conflict, except for repeated references to the ideological tyranny of the realm. The identity of the main character, I thought, was really vague for the first part of the story, and this appears to be intentional as a way to portray the character's growth, but I found that a little confusing until I got into the author's rhythm. I think this is a really specific reader niche. There is a set of readers that desire to follow one character intimately through her journey from everything she knows to discovering everything that is, and experiencing two completely polar opposites world. One world that is oppressive and locked down and you don't even think incorrectly, to a world that says love your neighbor as you love yourself, and this is how you do that. And I thought it was a really thoughtful, really interesting expression of that. So yeah, it was good. I liked it, which means you know what your assignment is. Find a good book. There's a good book. Read it. Go over and check out some 60s inspired sci-fi at starmansaga.com, the Starman Saga, or head over to dianedetzer.com to read some science fiction that was actually written in the 60s. And of course, you can find all the books and other stuff at readwriterelease.com. And when you're done with all of that, come on back here because there's more book talk yet to come.